and then you're home free.
Nice.
Sounds good.
That's the master plan.
That's quite elaborate.
So, Ben, how would you escape?
I shit you not, I was also going to use corrosion. God damn it. All right. Well, first things first.
Did I just steal your whole answer?
So I went about it in a different way. So I can still go through my plan, but some of the reveal is blunted slightly by the fact that the reveal is the same as yours. One quick thing. So I actually looked through all the prison regulations because those are online, and it had this line that I absolutely loved, which is, you are permitted to hold quiet conversations and to play games quietly with your adjoining neighbors only, which sounds adorable.
You must hold hands and share. Sharing is caring.
It very much sounds like the thing a preschool teacher would say during quiet time. But yeah, so sort of when I was going through the escape plan, kind of one of the things I realized is that you really want to make sure you're on your way to the mainland before your escape is discovered. Because, as you point out, Alcatraz is an island. So if they figure out that you're gone before you are off the island, I don't think you have much of a chance of actually getting away. Because, once the jig is up,
there's not a lot of places they have to search.
Right, yeah. So it's kind of tricky to find an actual time to do your breakout. They actually count the prisoners 13 times a day. It's around every 2 hours. It's more frequent during the day itself, actually. The longest gap is from midnight to 3 a.m. So that's probably the best time to try to do it. I also saw somewhere that there's apparently were only 6 guards patrolling the cell blocks at night, which seems low, but I guess also it wasn't a huge building, so...
That's for the whole prison?
Well, the cell blocks at least. I mean, I guess the thought is
there's
that...
multiple cell blocks, right?
Yeah, but you figure that you have, the cell blocks aren't huge. It wasn't a huge capacity prison, right? It was only 1,500? No, not even that. It was a pretty small prison.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah, I mean, they probably had they probably had prisoners in the dozens, not even in the hundreds.
So it wasn't absurd to have a pretty small, during the night, all the lights are out. Any lights that come on are pretty fucking obvious. So your options are pretty limited.
Also, where the fuck are people gonna go?
Right, exactly.
You're on an island.
Yeah, you're on an island still. So, but I figure if you're going to get out, the time to do it is going to be in that window from midnight to 3 a.m. So my plan also, once again, involves getting an instrument too. I cannot believe this.
Did you pick a banjo?
Mine was a guitar specifically, because one of the things I realized is that, so there's actually, once again, it's a very fun diagram of the layout of the prison and the regular, or your cell in the regulations. And apparently, if you had an instrument in a case, you could just store that under your bed. You just put it under your bed, apparently? I don't know. So if you have a guitar, you can just stash stuff in there.
Yeah, I think I saw a diagram where they showed a picture of a guitar case under your bed.
Yeah, so just keep it down there. I don't know. But, so that's step 1 of the plan, is get a guitar.
I think it's kind of inhumane to give a whole room, a whole building of closely put together people instruments that they may or may not know how to play.
I did see, apparently the only one you could actually play in your cell was the guitar. The rest was
Wait, why just the guitar?
Well, no, so actually, there was actually a band room at Alcatraz, apparently, which on weekends, if you had wind instruments, you could go and play them there, apparently. Alcatraz was bizarre.
That sounds delightful.
I learned so many...
It's like a retirement home.
Right?
I mean, it's any prison. They do have a bunch of activities.
Yeah.
I was reading a story not too long ago about 4 prison inmates who, they weren't in for super long sentences, but they ended up forming a D&D group in the prison, and they were allowed to play
oh yeah, I heard about
Dungeons and Dragons supplements. And so they played D&D for a while in prison, and then 5 years later, when they all were let out, they just kept the group going, and then they just meet to play D&D a bunch. And I'm like, okay,
that's pretty amazing.
Wonder what kind of fucking themes they got going on in their game.
All right, so step 1, get a guitar. Step 2, get a job in the kitchen, because prisoners could have jobs. A lot, there were workshops and stuff, a lot maintenance jobs, things like that. But one of the things you could do was work in the kitchen.
And you want latex gloves?
Not latex gloves. Our plans are not exactly the same, fortunately. Which, by the way, getting a job in the kitchen just sounds good anyway. One fun thing about working in the kitchen, you get to shower 3 times a week instead of just 2.
Ooh.
Shower and get new clothes.
Why are the kitchen people more special?
I'm guessing because they work with food, so it's important for them to stay clean. So instead of showering, I think most people showered and got new clothes like Tuesday and Saturday or something. And people working in the kitchen, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that sounds pretty good. But the reason you need a job in the kitchen is to smuggle out some vinegar.
Hey. I wonder what we're going to use this for. Don't spoil it.
I know, right? don't, there's so many possibilities.
Make a volcano.
Where I sort of got the idea is that apparently they ran into issues because when they did rebuilding in the prison, they reinforced some of the outer walls with iron from the original cells. Because like originally back before it was turned into an actual a non-military prison, I think the cells were iron and they got replaced with steel ones. But they used that iron to reinforce the walls. And then over time, after it was done being a prison, that iron was corroding inside of the walls and causing issues. So I was like, oh, okay. So maybe there's something there. So the bars in the cell are actually only a 1/4 inch thick. And things that are acidic can increase the speed of rust formation. Vinegar is acidic. And salt water can increase the speed of rust formation. And as Chris pointed out, the toilets flush with salt water. And much like Chris, I tried to figure out how long it would take to rush through a steel bar. Could not find out.
It was very difficult for some reason.
It was weirdly hard to find out. I'm actually really confused about that.
Yeah.
There were lots of articles about how to prevent rust, but not about how long it will take to form. I did see that you can get if you have a vinegar water mixture, you can get surface rust in under an hour.
Right, yeah, I saw that too.
Did you see that same article with the guy making the rusty horseshoes? Because that's the main one. Yep. Same research. There we go.
This is adorable.
I know, right? But yeah, so it probably is a pretty long-term plan, which also, by the way, yeah, I had not really figured out what you do once you actually get your cell open, aside from get off the island in under 2 hours. I guess, yeah, you make a raft of some kind. Apparently, while you already are working in the kitchen, just grab some latex gloves, do that.
Latex gloves, yeah.
That works. I'm just going to piggyback off that idea.